Should be lovely. Just a sec. Got ourselves game one between Digital Chaos and Immortals. Pretty sure Faker is Abed and Young Mojo's MSS, but we get into this game. If I'm wrong, let me know. Things, someone else would have known better. But Digital Chaos Immortals, we take a first look at this draft. Night Stalker picked up by Digital Chaos first. Then Spirit Breaker and Puck picked up by Immortals. So right away, you take a look at what Immortals is bringing to the table. Some global presence in Spirit Breaker. You want to be able to move around the map in the early game, put the pressure onto these Digital Chaos heroes, and get that early pressure to translate into some early kills. So we'll see if Immortals can do that. They've got Puck. Possibly Puck in the mid lane. We'll have to see if Immortals want to go with that. Sometimes you see a Puck in the off lane, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see that either. For Digital Chaos, they now pick up the Pugna, which we could be seeing mid. So Pugna against Puck. Puck could have an alright time here, especially if Spirit Breaker comes by. But the high damage output of Pugna early might be a deterrent of Spirit Breaker and Puck trying to chase in, so have to see what Immortals want to do with the rest of their draft and Digital Chaos, which will probably tell us more about their game plan in the early start of this. As for bans, Nature's Prophet, Jakiro, two pushing heroes taken out of the lineup for Digital Chaos, and Immortals, they've banned out two terribly cancerous heroes in Lich and Venomancer. So right away, no armor, no lane winning from Lich coming out for Digital Chaos. You know, you have that sacrifice, you have that early frost armor. So that's already taken out, and Immortals really don't want to deal with that. And then they pick up the Ember, or they actually ban out the Ember Spirit. And now Immortals looking towards that fourth ban, while DC, and they've got Night Stalker and they've got Pugna, so that vision's there for them. If they choose to put Pugna in the mid lane, they would still need safe laner and an off laner up against this Immortal squad.
5 seconds remaining.
So
Dire's ban now.
See what they ban out. It's going to be the Disruptor. So Digital Chaos don't want to let that chase happen. They want to be able to move into these heroes on Immortals. You get rid of that Glimpse. You get rid of Static Storm, which is quite nice, especially with a Pugna who, under that Static Storm, would be taken out immediately.
5 seconds remaining.
I need to minimize that window on my left monitor. So Viper gets banned out by Immortals. So they do choose to ban out two mid heroes, not suspecting that Pugna is going to be in that mid lane. It's always a possibility. Could be Pugna as well in the 5th position. So we could see Digital Chaos have a 4-5 right now, still need their 3 cores, and for Immortals, they've got their roaming 4 in Spirit Breaker and possible mid or off laner in Puck, and Drow gets banned out. So Immortals, they're going to pick up Ancient Apparition, which blue lineup right now. That's the first thing you notice. But secondly, it does set up quite well. You get a Blink with Puck, you have the Illusory Orb to go in with or get out with. Spirit Breaker sets up the charge when Ancient Apparition hits level 6. You're using that Ice Blast as well as the charge. Try and line up something nice and use your cores to clean up. So we'll see how Immortals do with that combination. Digital Chaos, see what they go with third. See if this Pugna is in fact a position 5 hero or a 4. Or a mid, excuse me.
Dire's turn to be Silencer.
So Silencer gets picked up by Digital Chaos. And that makes me suspect more that Pugna is not in that support position. You see Silencer, he's been at least recently put in that 5 slot, as well as Night Stalker, of course, going to be in that 4 spot. So they have their 4-5, their mid up against these Immortal heroes. I like the Ancient Apparition pick against this Pugna for obvious reasons with the ult. And let's see what Immortals go with next, and we'll get more of a picture of if Puck is in that mid lane or in that off lane. See if they stick to the blue lineup here for Immortals. I like the potential lockdown from Immortals in Cold Feet, in the Charge, the Bashing, Puck's Dream Coil. For Digital Chaos, they have Void, but that's about it right now. So they might want to take more of a frontliner approach with their next couple of picks. Could go offlane, maybe something we've seen a little bit more recently in Underlord. They could go with a Sven that's going to try and be a frontliner for Digital Chaos, but as of now, Immortals, they pick up the Faceless Void, so they're really trying to work with Ancient Apparition and Puck. You've got the Void who's going to be sitting in that safe lane, going to be trying to farm up. We'll probably see a Mask of Madness come out for Faceless Void and use that Chronosphere in succession with the Ice Blast to take these team fights against Digital Chaos. So, Digital Chaos now looking like they need a safe laner and an off laner in their lineup. Again, I do kind of like the Underlord pick. Its mobility, its tankiness. We saw it OG versus Kingwin. S4 was playing the Underlord. I thought it was a very good pick. The lockdown in Pinamalis, the early damage in Firestorm, and obviously the mobility and tankiness might work well with Digital Chaos, and they actually opt to go for the Bloodseeker. So they want to be able to keep these heroes stationary, and Bloodseeker getting that Rupture, working with the Pugna, as well as just the early hits of Night Stalker, and if Silencer gets enough intelligence, the harder hitting of a position 5 Silencer. Obviously not that really matters, but Bloodseeker really trying to keep at least somebody stationary on the side of Immortals with that Rupture. So, last bands come out. See what both sides are really looking to not be up against for sure with their lineups. I like Immortals' lineup so far. Lockdown in a lot of these heroes in Chronosphere with Cold Feet if it procs, Dream Coil, charging with the Bash. It is very nice from Immortals. I don't think they need something more with their offlaner. They could work with something that does have a stun, and again, I do actually seeing it a couple times. I am in love with that Underlord pick in the offlane, but we'll have to see. As for Digital Chaos, I do think they need someone who's going to have a stun for them, as they do kind of lack that lockdown on their side. So they ban out the Darkseer. And I like that Darkseer ban as well. In Digital Chaos, they're going to go with the Templar Assassin. Interesting. So slow. I mean, they've got Void. The ability. I just don't like the lack of lockdown. Obviously, with Rupture, if you're not moving, gives the opportunity for Templar Assassin to really hit away at you. But I don't know. I think Digital Chaos' lineup is lacking lockdown by a touch, and I think they could have gone with something better. Something like a Chaos Knight or a Sven. Something that can really hit hard and lock these heroes down. So Immortals, they go with the Death Prophet. That'll push Puck into the off lane. Death Prophet mid, Faceless Void safe lane, Ancient Apparition 5, Spirit Breaker roaming 4. Zoped mid with the Templar Assassin, safe lane Bloodseeker. Roaming 4 on the Night Stalker. Looks like MSS is on that Pugna and Moomeander on the Silencer. So QO on the Death Prophet, MP on that Void, Dubu's going to be with the Ancient Apparition, Forev on the Puck, and Febby on the Spirit Breaker. So, again, please don't destroy me, guys. Just here trying to make a living. I don't want to be involved in drama. Alright, so let's take a look as we see Bulba going around on this Night Stalker, just trying to place some, or place a nice ward over by this bounty room, try and get a little bit of vision into that top lane. Will place it successfully, not seen by anybody just yet. MP moving into the safe lane, and then a nicely placed ward by this Ancient area by Febby. And over bottom, see this vision coming out. It will spot this bottom rune, as well as this bottom river area, which is a pretty nice spot to have it. Want to have that vision in there, as much vision as you can for this Spirit Breaker to make a move or two. Nobody really looking like they're setting up for anything too aggressive. Looks like they're setting up Mason in the off lane, Pugna in the safe lane. Over mid's going to be that TA of Op-Ed. And there's the horn, and we'll have our bounty runes underway. MP grabbing his top over bottom. It's going to be QO moving into that mid lane with the Death Prophet. Op-Ed grabs his, and then this bottom bounty rune not picked up just yet. But now, Moomiander will go over and pick it up.
Coin for me.
So let's see how these lanes are going to be setting up. You've got Op-Ed mid with Bulba, might have an opportunity for a couple of kills in the early game once you get to that first night. Death Prophet very sustainable in this mid lane, and we'll have to see how Febby approaches this lineup. You've got the Spirit Siphon coming out already on Op-Ed. Febby not going in as he doesn't elect to take that charge just yet. He's got Greater Bash level 1. So Spirit Siphon here for QO up against just the side blades of this Templar Assassin. And then we'll take a look up top as it's going to be this Pugna of MSS up against MP in the safe lane. So, see how they go. Especially with this Ancient Apparition up top, you might see a charge or two come out once level 2 is hit onto Spirit Breaker. Pugna, if the charge does come with the Cold Feet, might give them enough time. With the Faceless Void hitting away, we could see a couple of kills in favor of Immortals. Got that Greater Bash already level 1. Waiting to hit level 2 is Febby. We'll take a look on the bottom lane as Forever's here in this off lane. Puck up against Moomiander on the Silencer, here with Mason on that Bloodseeker. So, mass disconnect coming out from Immortals. Take a look at these CS leaders thus far. It is 3 of them on top for Immortals. Mid is going to be this Death Prophet. Of course, QO again. Level 2 looking for that level 3, so Crypt Swarm and Spirit Siphon. There's a little bit of regen in both the Healing Salve and those 2 shared tangos. Abed, not amazing at 3-0. Is half, but still early on. Looking at that Wraith Band and going for Boots next. We'll have to see how both teams really react over mid, especially Immortals, as I keep reiterating myself in having Febby get to level 2 with Dubu, who actually hasn't skilled anything just yet. A little bit of a high ping there. So Dubu will disconnect once again. Just going to be waiting for a moment. Just get these guys ready with some nice ping. Get some good Dota underway. In this first best of 3 between Immortals and DC. Now a full team disconnection coming out from Immortals. This is pretty interesting. Just the most interesting part of Dota games in both this giant pause in the beginning, full team disconnects. See how it affects the team. Gives me time to finish my Yoo-hoo. See, no word of a remake just yet. Not sure if that would warrant a remake. Let's take a look at these lanes, see how... Let's get hypotheticals going. Obviously, a lot of these hypotheticals do involve the Spirit Breaker of Febby roaming around trying to get these early kills created. Febby, there is a ward here for the side of DC. And then there is one in the river. So they are going to have vision of the Spirit Breaker coming through mostly all the time, unless he really charges from this back area towards mid. But other than that, they pretty much seemingly have it covered to know when the Spirit Breaker is coming around. We'll see if that helps keep DC alive. Well, maybe we'll see a D ward. I know there was an attempt up here top, and this sentry ward not giving me the range. Not going to see it. So here comes Immortals back into the game. 3 connected. Continually seeing the spamming of space created. One of those things that, as a player, I liked voice commands or voice chat. The little chat commands. I don't even know the name of them, but now that I don't have to hear them every 5 seconds while we're paused, I'm kind of happy with it. Would like to see them back, though. Maybe these guys can download more RAM at downloadmoreram.com. It's always an attempt. But, you know, talk about our days if you want. Once we get a rehost here. Went out, had some breakfast. It was nice. Went to a diner, had some pancakes, some coffee, woke myself up. Put a little FIFA. You know, in chat, if you want to talk about your day, talk about your day. Go for it. So, just waiting for internet stability here for the side of Immortals. Meanwhile, the series of Complexity versus VGJ Storm is happening. Take a look at that on my phone. According to Track Dota, 2-2, with Complexity having a 3,500 net worth lead. You got Limp on Sniper, Chessie playing the Bloodseeker, Ritsu is on the Phantom Lancer, Moo playing the Nature's Prophet, Flea is with the Underlord. Ryu on Razor Z Freak with the Spirit Breaker. Kyle on the Jakiro, Snake King with the Earthshaker, and Stan King on the Lich. So they're about 10 minutes into that game. 3,500 net worth lead for the side of Complexity. No towers down for either side. Let's check out some of these items. Nothing too crazy coming out. Just boots. Phase boots for Limp. Kua for Chessie. That's about it. And actually, Ritsu gets a kill on Mu over bottom. So it takes 3 heroes to go in on that. They had the Phantom Lancer. The Fissure came out from the Earthshaker. Got Lich in there. Gets the kill on Mu, and they cut this deficit down to 2,700. So we ready to go? We are ready to go. That was your update of the other game going on. And now we're back live with this game, so kind of get into the swing of things in this game. And looking up top, MP, Febby, as well as Dubu just sent up here once again as I finally see Febby get that level 2, and he's got that charge. We'll see if he heads anywhere first and see if it comes under the vision of this ward. You take a look just on the edge of it. He might want to look to come around and go through the back. We'll have to see as Febby is going to spot Bulba. So no move just yet from Febby. Not going to be able to charge on anybody, knowing that he's in vision. They know that there's not anybody coming out of nowhere, and they should feel quite safe in their lane. But Febby does start heading towards mid, and that's going to be a charge actually over on Moomiander by this bounty rune. Nobody else coming over just yet, so he's got double damage. Not too sure if he wants to go in on this, but there's the hit from Febby. Let's see if they start to trade if first blood will come for either of these heroes. First hit bash there for Febby, continuing to go in. Double damage for Moomiander. Febby doesn't seem to care, and the chase will continue as the charge happens again. Febby one more time. One more hit will get first blood. A little ring around the rosy around these trees, and there it is. Febby grabbing first blood on this silencer. And he grabs a nice little bounty rune for his trouble. Take a look at that fight recap. Gets himself and his team about a 400 net worth increase. We'll see where his target is next, if he wants to head towards top or even just go back to base and charge out from there. You take a look over bottom. Bulba just getting harassed back out from MP. And you taking a look at this CS chart, you start to make your attention towards mid, where you've got QO and Abe just trading it out. So both these heroes level 4, and we'll get another pause. Now at 170 ping. Just waiting for the unpause. I was going to say mid, both level 4. A little bit ahead is QO, and he does continually push back Ovid with the level 2 in Spirit Siphon and the Crypt Swarm. It's a little bit of nuke damage or coming through from QO that it looks alright for him. If they do get a nice charge in, they could get a kill. So over mid, we'll take a look still on Abed and QO, and we'll see where Febby's going. He's actually starting to charge bottom. This is going to come out on Bulba, but he's already in the river and back towards his tower, but now making the turnaround, this could be a little bit of a poor decision. They start to look away. They've got Dubu setting up, charge coming through, and that's going to come all the way through. The bash is going to be there. The cold feet, I don't think it's going to proc, but he gets another bash. The opportunity is there, and Dubu, he combines with this Spirit Breaker to get a second kill for Immortals. So 2-0 in favor of Immortals. They get another kill, this time on the position 4. So just 2 supports really taken out from Immortals, and they like to continue to put this pressure on. We'll see if the Spirit Breaker of Febby continues to move forward in pressuring this lineup of DC. Does seem to be looking towards mid. As Abed a little bit low, but Moomiander is here, level 3, 2 in Arcane Curse. Would have to be careful, especially with the Night Stalker behind him. So coming in is going to be the Spirit Breaker. They get the Spirit Siphon coming through. And now Febby with the charge. One more shot after that. Crypt Swarm might do it. But nice Fairy Fire eaten by this mid-TA just to stay alive. Neither team gets themselves a kill, and just getting away with it is DC. As Abed forced to go to that shrine, back off, and Immortals will do the same. So almost a kill there. Maybe if they had the Ancient Apparition, they would have been good, but a nice Fairy Fire used by Abed to keep himself alive. So now 3 levels in Refraction. We'll see if they break that Refraction at the right time, which is exactly what happened last time. It was really just the Fairy Fire that kept him up. But was almost a kill if they could time that right. Maybe they do it again. So smoked up are both Dubu and Febby. Might be looking over mid again. There's still 3 heroes here. They're going to have to be careful. Going in on Abed one more time. And now the charge is going to come through again on mid TA. Got the Spirit Siphon. QO just eating a couple of shots here from both Bulba and Moomiander. He might be in a bad spot. The Cold Feet does proc on the TA, but you don't really care. DC going to continue to move forward. They've got a little bit more to get the kill onto this Death Prophet. They'll kill off Dubu. Look for more in Febby. The charge to try and keep himself alive. But there it is. Moomiander with a double kill and -6 in total. So absolutely devastating there from Digital Chaos as they get 3 kills on Immortals. Immortals don't get anybody. And that TA really does stay alive with ease. QO. Just getting harassed out. They change their focus with both Bulba and Moomiander. Change their focus towards QO, and that was really all that did it. They threw the Void out there. They had these shots coming in from Moomiander, as well as the ticking damage of Arcane Curse. Really did make trouble for the side of Immortals, and they do lose 3. They've got the charge as well as the Cold Feet. Bulba might be in a little bit of trouble, but now the silence is out on the Spirit Breaker. The trap comes through from Abed and will force back the side of Immortals as they do have the puck coming through in Forev, but not in time as he does or would have had that Dream Coil to go in on this DC side. So these charges, while they had worked early for Febby, not as effective this late in the game, and late only 7 minutes in, but still is becoming a problem. QO gets hit with that last word, does hit him down to about 600 health, so 2/3 his health remaining. QO with the Arcane Curse will be forced back. Not really too high on mana either. Well, let's take a look over towards Mason, who we really haven't seen much of this game. He's level 7, Dubu only level 3, so not exactly the best situation for this Ancient Aphron to look over bottom. Mason could go in with the Rupture, none in Bloodright, which is usually the follow-up. Mason's okay with this, just continuing to farm away, 50 and 11. When you take a look at the top of the net worth, it is the Faceless Void of MP, followed by Abed mid and Mason bottom. Got Treads and the Aquila on Templar Assassin, while we take a look again at the Bloodseeker, who's now moved over top to grab himself Phase Boots. So looks as though MP has made his way bottom. Nobody up top for the side of Immortals while DC look to push. Got a couple of these heroes smoked, and looking to find an aggressive move is Immortals over on DC. You take a look as trying to farm this triple stack is Abed. But does in fact back off of it, and Exorcism is going to be used by QO to clean it up. So you've lost your tier 1 up top. You're looking to maybe push a little bit on the bottom tier 1. QO tries to clean up these Ancients with Exorcism. Hasn't really gotten many of them, and these traps know that QO is over here. So they're going to try and gank around the back. Moonmeander and Bulba coming through. We'll see if Febby's able to stop this. QO at about half health, and there's the smoke to make up the movement speed to try and catch up. The Exorcism comes in and heals up Death Prophet. They'll just back off, and while some of this stack was taken out, not all of it, and maybe Ape will work on that in a moment, but I want to clear out this area by the Ancient stack to make sure he won't get killed. So Immortals do grab the bottom tier 1. They continue to push with Forev, who's level 8. They move MSS down here. And take a look over at Febby. He's going to be silenced up and hit with that Arcane Curse. So 3-2 in favor of DC, but touch of a net worth lead for Immortals. And Immortals are going to be waiting for this level 6 on Dubu. They want this Ice Blast, and they want to be able to work with it in favor or in succession with the charge. And when that happens, we'll see if Immortals get a little bit more aggressive. Meanwhile, oh boy, this Spirit Breaker seen by 4 of these heroes on DC should be an easy kill and will be. Templar Assassin cleans up Febby, another +2 for Moonmeander, now at 8. So an interesting move there of trying to grab some vision by this Spirit Breaker, but ends up with him dying, and now a little bit of a lead for DC. Both teams are very comfortable with staying back and farming up, especially now that Abed's got himself this Blink Dagger. And with that comes a very strong and opportunistic DC. Now that they have the mobility on this Templar Assassin and the vision coming out from the Night Stalker. Now Dubu is level 6. Let's see how they set this up. You take a look over mid. They're trying to go in onto QO. Just this life drain is so much for this Death Prophet to handle, especially slowed up by that decrep. If there was anybody else there, it might have been a little bit of a higher chance of a kill for DC, but instead just backs off that life drain and tries to heal up. So pausing again, 200 ping. Open up another Yoo-Hoo here. We'll be ready for the go symbol, or go sign, in just a moment. We'll have to see how Immortals are going to play this now that they've got level 6 on Dubu. They have the charge, they have Chronosphere available, they can be very aggressive. They just have to catch the right heroes. You've got a lot of damage from the side of DC that can come into the Chronosphere in both the Nether Blast as well as the just the shots coming in from Abed. So they got to be careful on Immortals. They have to play this quite right. You grab yourselves just the Silencer, or just the Night Stalker, or even just the Bloodseeker. That Chronosphere is not really that great if there's a team behind him. So Immortals, while having this lockdown in the Chronosphere and having the follow-up of the Ice Blast, they do have to still make sure that they set up correctly on a team like DC. So, still just waiting for the ping to settle for Immortals. And then will be underway. DC with a little bit of a lead, up 4-2. Let's take a look around the horn. They're looking for that Desolator on Op-Ed. Rod of Atos here for Pugna. And this Silencer with Boots. Not too bad at 8 stolen intelligence already. Not too sure where Immortals are playing from, but this kind of ping troubles is concerning. Thankfully this time around, and knock on wood, it's not my internet that's having troubles, as I have been having a little bit of trouble in the past. Do know that I'm streaming in 720. Wish I could give you guys 1080, but just can't afford a better gear just yet. But that is what I'm working on, is what I'm saving towards to give you guys the best stream I can. Right now, 720 unfortunately, but hopefully soon in the future it will be 1080 or even more. So, waiting room here. Could get a little elevator or waiting room music going on. $200 ping is what we're dealing with. I can't hit any of my skills like this. DC. No, I'm not talking about the Radiant team. We are immortals, and we're trying to win. Upper bracket final for the win. 200 ping. NAISP, and we're back. Here we go. So, top of the net worth is this Templar Assassin, followed up by Mason on the Bloodseeker. He's going for that Hand of Midas, and really hasn't been harassed at all this game. You've had this free farming Bloodseeker. Templar Assassin was attempted to be killed off that one time, but they got 3 and none dead on their own side for DC. And they're just trying to get that Desolator out there, possibly a Midas, and then we'll see what Mason goes for next on this Bloodseeker. We'll see if maybe he goes for an SNY. Meanwhile, for the side of Immortals, they haven't used this combination in what they got just yet in the Chronosphere and the Ice Blast, but it looks like they're setting up and going for something now as they smoke up 3 of these heroes in Dubu, QO, and MP. Let's see what they do as QO does back off, just go for the Exorcism to push this top tier 1. You still have MP here with Dubu over mid, so they're setting up possibly for a good Chronosphere. Spots Mason and Moomiander, but he's just going to back off before he gets ruptured out. They've got the charge coming through on Mason, so have that vision for now, but not going to continue to go in. Take a look up top. QO got that top tier 1, using this Exorcism to chip away at this tier 2 at about half health. They do have the backup coming in from MP, so any retort coming in from DC may not be enough, especially if you're just sending Mason up there.
Dire's bottom tower
You spot Mason out. They're going to see if they maybe set up something with 4 heroes up top. You've got, again, MP, Febby, QO going back, but also Dubu. I'll end up grabbing that tier 2. Don't go in for Mason. Meanwhile, you've got Moon Meander as well as Bulba coming over. It is nighttime, 15 minutes into this game. Still just a small lead for the side of DC. And now Febby going to be charging all the way over towards these bottom creeps to try and push away this creep wave, which is only involved with Templar Assassin. You take a look up top. TPing away is going to be this Faceless Void. Can MP get out? He will after getting ruptured up. So they do use Global Silence. They do use Rupture, get nothing out of it. And you take a look over bottom as Puck might be in a little bit of trouble. Forev gets hit, and Op-Ed with an easy solo kill over bottom. So Templar Assassin getting that much of a boost in the net worth, looking towards that Desolator, and now finally in the 4 digits of a net worth lead in 1,000 in favor of DC. For the side of DC, you finally pick up that Rod of Atos, so a little bit more lockdown coming in for DC. And still, Immortals. Chronosphere was used probably top, as I didn't spot it on camera, but they didn't really use any of that combination that they have together just yet. Charge coming through on Mason. Not moving up too far to this top tier 2, but now he's charged in between a bunch of these heroes. The Rod comes out, the ulti's used, and there's the Ice Blast, but it's not going to hit. You've got a nice Dream Coil coming through on 2 of these heroes, on both Moomiander and the Pugna. They'll finally get 1 in the Silencer, but ruptured up his QO, and with that Exorcism popped, just can't chase. So they'll take 1, don't lose the Spirit Breaker, but they had the opportunity to get more. Just a nicely used Rupture from Mason to stop QO from pushing it even further. So 5-3 in favor of DC. They start chipping away at that tier 2, down to about 1,000 health, and still hold that 1,000 net worth lead. And you take a look at what Immortals is starting to pick up. And the Faceless Void has that Mask of Madness. Maybe looking for a Blink next. Diffusal is also queued up, as well as the Yasha. You take a look at Q on the Death Prophet, has the Solar Crest. Nothing queued up there to look for next. And then Puck, looking for that Yules to buy some time, has the Blink Dagger as well. For the other side, for DC, we take a look over bottom, or towards the bottom end of this mid lane. It's a 4-man smoke in everybody. There's the Rod of Atos to stop the Spirit Breaker. Again, should be an easy kill. You've got the Life Drain coming through. The slow from Op-Ed. Bulba hitting away. They should have this kill with ease. And Febby is dead. Moomiander picks that one up, and now he's at +10. So with that, DC, they're going to head over towards Roche, but QO's got that Spirit Siphon on Bulba. Bulba trying to make some space, and with Bulba, they're just kind of positioning himself there. QO backs off and doesn't head towards this Roche pit. Might give him the idea that they're in Roche, but there's no way they are looking to contest this just yet. No heroes nearby for him. So they grab themselves the Aegis full Desolator finished off on Abed. Now going for the BKB next. See how aggressive DC are going to be now with the Aegis. First one of this game. Ice Blast hits on Bulba, getting quite low. Cold Feet there. A bash comes in from the Spirit Breaker. Febby gets the kill. Life Drain trying for that silence to hit from Bloodseeker, but does have the ability to TP away. So 2,000 net worth lead here, 6-4 in favor of DC. MP just continuing to push bottom, has enough for that Blink Dagger. We'll see if he goes straight for it or for that Desolator instead, now having that Mask of Madness. Meanwhile, Dream Coil comes out onto Moomiander, Rupture onto this Faceless Void, going to try and TP away, but he's under the tower. MP's taken out, and Mason stopping this Void from coming in, help get this kill on the Silencer that they don't even achieve at all. So Immortals, they lose the core of Faceless Void. It's a kill going the way of Mason. First time he's really been involved in a fight. Has the Midas, looking good at second on the net worth, and now going for that Radiance, and he is close to that Relic. So Immortals, again, they just can't put the pieces together. They have the pieces to fight this DC side in the combination of Ice Blast, Chronosphere, and Exorcism, but they are a little bit behind and haven't been able to string these ults together. Meanwhile, you take a look at the other side of DC, who's starting to split this net worth even further away from Immortals. You've got Abed with the Desolator going for the BKB next. Still has that Aegis and available to push. And Mason almost there on the Sacred Relic for this Bloodseeker. So Immortals, they are complacent with the side of DC continuing to push, but now they're going to aim towards getting a tier 3, and you kind of wonder what Immortals are going to have to throw their way. They might start with the charge, but again, the Rod of Atos stopping the Spirit Breaker in place, making it very difficult for Immortals to find a counter move on the DC. They continue to go after this tier 3. Spirit Siphon's going to be stopped off, and there's the trap to slow QO, as it looks like they're setting up for a fight over top. You've got 5 heroes here for the side of DC, only 3, now 4 available for Immortals, and with Faceless Void pushing over bottom, they don't have Chronosphere to work with. They move in with the Illusory Orb. There's the Rod of Atos to Crepify. A lot of damage thrown the way of QO, and now they're going to start off with the Spirit Breaker ult onto the TA. But again, still that Aegis available. Not really sure what they're looking to do. And now a Chronosphere comes out on 2, but the Global Silence to push back Immortals. So you don't have Chronosphere anymore. You can't lock up TA, and Ice Blast, it will hit on 1, but it really isn't doing anything at level 1. Febby tries to charge in, not going to complete that charge on the side of DC, as they're looking quite healthy. DC end up taking this tier 3 over top, open up the shrines, and are up 4,000 net worth, and take a tier 3 just 22 minutes into this game. So you take a look at what DC had, and I really did have this thought of maybe DC won't be able to handle Immortals because they really do lack the stun. It's been working fine with them. They hit a lot harder at this point in the game. They've been continually pushing, take that Roche early, and Immortals, they just don't really have an answer for it. So now with Exorcism again, QO's going to look to push. You don't have Chronosphere for another minute. So QO's got to be very careful, especially with the Blink Dagger available on Abed. Bulba tries to go in. He's going to get killed off by QO. Now maybe Immortals will look for their opportunity to chase, but you've got the Rod of Atos. 2-man Dream Coil on the back lines, but Rupture comes in onto QO, and with that Exorcism, can't make his way forward. Rev comes in, Waning Rift is hit, Mason trying to follow that up. Now QO might be in a little bit of trouble as the team starts to chase. Oped hits away, Bloodright thrown on the floor, not going to hit on anybody, but this is DC's time as they continue to go in. The charge is not enough to stop DC. Moomiander gets the first one. They look towards Puck with that Rod of Atos, but there's the phase shift to be able to blink out. So we take a look at the fight recap as the Aegis does expire, or not. Clicked it 3 times. It's an 8-5 lead in favor of DC. They did lose Bulba in that last engagement, get one of their own in Febby. And that was pretty much it after losing that tier 1 over mid.
Flesh sustains, gold remains.
So 24 minutes into this game, DC, they've pushed quite well and might just wait for the next Aegis as they continue to farm up. You've got enough money on Mason, or enough gold on Mason, to pick up this Radiance, and let's take a look at the other team as heading towards that BKB is Abed. Now with the Radiance, it's going to be harder for Immortals to get in and stay in. As you take a look at what they've got, it's just Yules and Solar Crest for this Death Prophet. Mask of Madness and Blink for the Faceless Void, and the Puck with Yules and Blink of his own. It's a 5-man smoke for the side of Immortals, but they are going to be scanned out. They've got the charge coming in through, and now DC, they start to about face and turn around. See if Immortals can make anything happen. There it is. The charge comes through. Hits on the Pugna. They look for the ult out of that Rod of Atos with Puck coming in. Global Silence to stop Immortals for just a moment. Now the chase is on. DC hits away at Febby. Will not get that kill as they kill off Ancient Apparition. Chronosphere on one. Cleaning up the Pugna. Now looking for more. QO's getting quite low. Mason hitting away. Cleans up the Death Prophet. And now MP in a bit of trouble. A Time Walk down to the low ground. And Abed actually goes the wrong way. Places a nice trap to slow down MP, but with that Blink Dagger makes enough space for now. Continuing to Time Walk, looking for that Courier, and is able to TP back to his base, not even killing off the Courier towards this top tier 2. So, ends up being a 1 for 2. They get the Death Prophet, they get the Ancient Apparition, almost kill off Febby. And now DC with that 6,000 net worth lead. You saw how hard Mason hits already. And with that fight, you've got the full BKB on Templar Assassin, now 10 seconds available. DC, they weren't the ones being aggressive on that fight, but they were the counter-aggressors as Immortals were looking for that moment, and again, just don't have enough power to take out these heroes on DC. So DC make quick work of this tier 2 mid, and the tier 1 and tier 2 do still stand on bottom. We'll see how Immortals sort of at least try to react to this, being down 7,000 net worth just 27 minutes in. So they want to really just farm up, get this BKB on QO. As you saw in the last fight, he just couldn't handle what DC were throwing at him. And then the Man Style is going to be there soon for Void to really be able to take away that silence. For the Puck again, has that Yules, has that Blink Dagger, and looking for the Ags this early. The only one who's got BKB right now is Ape, but you want to be able to break that and still get that stun locking down the Templar Assassin, but I'm not too sure that's going to be enough. And on the other side for DC, Mason's still farming away. He's looking for a BKB, so maybe this Ags, if he gets it quickly enough, the Puck can make something happen. But we'll have to see all in due time, where DC, they're all still complacent enough to farm, looking and waiting for this Roche to come out as they have a trap in there, and you take a look, Roche is back up. So, look over bottom, these heroes TPing out from Immortals. BKB finished on the Bloodseeker. DC, you know that Roche is back up, and they might take this moment to try and go in. This is a nice choke point for the side of Immortals, who pause one more time. And that might be where Immortals can kind of pull this game back. If they land a nice Chronosphere, get an Ice Blast on top of that, if it's fought well enough and they take out 2 or 3 heroes from DC without losing many, Immortals could pull this game back. It's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities for the side of Immortals, but it's definitely tough. You've got 7,000 net worth deficit, and DC, they control this game at their pace quite well. They continue to push. They have their BKBs ready. They hit very hard in both the Templar Assassin and the Bloodseeker, now with that Radiance and BKB. We'll have to see if Immortals can even handle that if they do in fact get the perfect Chronosphere, Dream Coil, Ice Blast, it's still very hard for them to make a move towards cutting into this deficit because their fights have to be perfect. So QO reconnects. See if we're ready to go. See how they're setting up. Do they have any smokes out on these heroes? They do have one in Silencer, so Moomiander, they might smoke up here. At least to go into Roche. They might look for a fight if they get a couple of pickoffs. They know they're safe at Roche. For Immortals, they have all their ults up. Could be ready to fight in the Roche pit. They aren't too close by. They don't have this shrine up top, so they might be a little bit too far away to even contest this. While we're paused, let's take another look at this complexity game. Complexity won game 1. 22,000 lead, 21-13 over VGJ Storm. Take a look at the next game. They are in hero selection. Nyx and Lich for VGJ Storm, and Complexity's picked up Nature's Prophet, Spirit Breaker, and Disruptor. So they're looking for the global chase and pull. So Immortals, they're nearby, waiting possibly for the side of DC to go into Roche, but they've taken the long way around. Let's see if they can make anything happen. You've got Bulba invis. He spots out MP, so they know that the Void is nearby. They've got everybody here for the side of Immortals, and this could be a pretty big fight to ensue. Charge is faked out. Or actually, Febby starts to charge and just stops it. Maybe it's a fake in their own right, but on the back end of this fight, you take a look. Bloodright's going to be dropped. Freb's going to try and avoid it with the phase shift, and does. BKB's going to be popped by both Mason as well as QO, and now they start to fight. Moomiander's going to be the first one to drop. He's going to hit the deck first. You take a look at the back end of this fight as MP and Boba are starting to trade some hits over towards the top. There's the Rod of Atos thrown onto this puck, but trying to use himself away. Ferev gets that phase shift and blinks out as well. Chronosphere, meanwhile, is dropped on top of Mason. The Decrepify to keep Mason alive, and now they turn their attention towards Febby as Mason just continues to chase. One more shot would do it, and he gets it. Pugna getting the kill there onto Spirit Breaker, so it's a 3-for-1 in favor of DC. Take a look as it's about a 2,000 net worth jump for DC. They don't go for Roche just yet, as I think they're going to take these racks back off and then take the Aegis. Question really is, what can they do? And Dubu almost dies with one big shot coming in from the Templar Assassin. Space created indeed. And now they take out the melee racks, and DC, with that, will start to retreat. See if they head straight for this Roche. There it is. So DC again, they're going to go into this Roche. They're taking out quite quickly. Opec getting charged up, but I don't think this is going to come in time. And looking to go all the way through. Bulba's going to stop the charge with the Void. Gets the silence. And continuing to chase. They get the slow even more on Febby. Now the Rod of Atos to follow it up. Arcane Curse. You just can't get away. And Ferev trying to save his life with that Yules. But last word will come in. Moomiander cleans up one. And now DC with the Aegis. They might posture up and look towards mid, or even go for these tier 1s and tier 2s bottom. Or tier 1 and tier 2 bottom. It's become a 12,000 net worth lead here for DC. And again, there's not really what's looking like anything that Immortals can do. That fight their last engagement with DC over by the top shrine area didn't seem to end up in their favor. They had a couple good skills used. The Chronosphere was on Mason, but they couldn't even put a lot of damage into the Bloodseeker. Decrepify stopping that. The Radiance mischance. They're just... Immortals don't seem to have enough to really take on DC, and they won't for quite some time. Take a look. Yules is going to be thrown on Bulba. He's silenced up as well. Coming in with the Chronosphere is going to be MP. You have the Ice Blast following that up. Can they get the kill? They'll take out at least Moon Meander, but Bulba's going to drop. Bebe's going to fall as well, so it's 2 for 1 right now, but the buyback is there from Moon Meander. You lose 2 now. Ancient Apparition hits the deck. Exorcism is placed by QO with the BKB. They look towards taking out Op-Ed, who has that Aegis, so they'll get at least the Aegis, but they still got to look for more. With the Spirit Siphon, they chase Mason, who eats the cheese. Rod of Atos comes through on QO, and now the life drain is there. Bashed away, MP hitting at this Pugno. One by one, continues to get those bashes, but Mason, not dead yet, finally kills off QO, and they look for more in MP. Still, this Pugna survives. Moon Meander cleans him up, and 4 die for the side of Immortals, and GG is called. DC. They wiped the floor in this game 1. So DC get that game 1 win up against Immortals in this upper bracket final best of 3. And it could be ping, it could be just the draft, but Immortals, they didn't really look all there, and we'll see if they can fix it for game 2, as it will be up against DC, of course, again, in this best of 3. 6-0-10 for Abed, 6-4-9, 5-0 for Mason. DC looking very good in this game 1. We'll see if they pull it over towards game 2 the same way. And Immortals, see if they could change it up coming into game 2. We'll be right back with game 2 in just a moment. I'm your caster, BCop, at BCop92 on Twitter. Tell me what you think. Always trying to get better for you guys. And we'll be back in just a moment. Stay right there.